Hello, welcome back again. Today we are again going on with the grammar part of the unit 1. Attitude is altitude. And here if you see, we are going to discuss about the defining and non-defining relative clauses. Okay, so if you see, you have two sentences here. One is, the woman who taught him surfing had been bitten by a shark. The next one, Nick, who was teased and bullied, had an electric wheelchair for mobility. So what did you observe the difference between in these two sentences? Sentence 1 is defining about a woman. And in, suppose if you see here, you can say that in this sentence 1, the relative clause defines about the woman. So it is defining clause. It is defining clause. How can you say that the relative clause is nothing but it is adding some extra information about Nick in this sentence? So this is non-defining clause. So I tell you once again, just remember here in this clause, first clause, what is clause? Yes, clause is something where subject plus verb agreement will be there and you will have a little bit of, yes, a little bit of completion, but still sometimes you may have a complete sentence. Like if you're having complete sense, that comes under independent clause. If you don't have a complete sense, it is coming under dependent clause. Mainly if you see here, who taught him surfing? Taught is a verb. Yes, him is a subject here. So what do you see here? You can see something called subject plus verb agreement is there and it is not having a complete sense. So this is a dependent clause. This is a dependent clause, right? Next, if you see the next part here, in the second one, Nick, who was teased and bullied, had an electrical chair for mobility. So if I say non-defining clauses are those, if this clause is not there also, still you will have some meaning in the sentence. Nick had an electric wheelchair for mobility. That means you are adding some extra information only about the Nick. That is nothing but the non-defining clauses. Clear? So now if I can say that a non-defining clause is that which is preceded and followed by comma or hyphen. See, this is an extra information. I am preceding by comma, succeeded by comma otherwise. Right? Clear? So after the comma I am writing. Without this also the sentence meaning exists. Clear? Then if you move on with the next part, next sentence is given for you like the brave 26-year-old who is mainly torso, plays football, golf, swims, and surfs. This is a non-defining clause. So you have to remember that in the non-defining clause, it will be followed by comma or hyphen. After the comma, you will find or you will find after the hyphen. Okay, non-defining clause is something where you are adding some extra information about a person or a thing. Defining clause is that where you are, you can see the thing in the question here paper only that defining clause is something where you are defining a person. Okay, so now you have to read the text carefully and identify some non-defining and defining clauses. So I'll tell you, just note it down. Nick has a small foot, comma, which helps him balance. Nick has a small foot, comma. Shall I write it for you? Yes, I'll write it for you. Just give me a second. Nick has a small foot, comma, which helps him balance. So now identify whether this is a defining or non-defining. So this is non-defining clause. So because I am telling this that which helps him balance, if this is not there also I can say Nick has a small foot. It is a non-defining clause. So the second sentence which I am giving you is Nick, comma, who was born in Melbourne, who was born in Melbourne, Australia, now lives in Los Angeles. Los Angeles. Correct. So now if you observe here, A should be capital, right? Yeah. This is also a non-defining clause only. This is also a non-defining clause only. Now the third one, if you see why it is a non-defining, because I'm adding an extra information. Nick now lives in Los Angeles also. I can write who was born in Melbourne is not giving that much, and it is only giving you some extra information about Nick. Now the third one I can write, I read about a disabled man who had managed to achieve great things and help others. I read about a disabled man. I read about a disabled man who had managed to achieve great things and help others. So if you observe here, I say that who had managed great things. This completely is a clause. I say it as a defining relative clause. Who is a word which is relating. So I write as relative clause. So this is a defining clause. Without that, I cannot expect the meaning is perfect. See, I read about a disabled man. And who is that disabled man? We cannot expect whichever is given without that particular thing. I decided to give hope, or I decided to give people the courage that the article had given me. I decided to give people the courage that the article had given me. This is also a defining clause. Next, Nick, who later achieved a degree, says this. Who later achieved a degree? It's adding an extra information about Nick, so it is a non-defining relative clause. Right. So now, now there are few sentences they have only given. Let us see whether they are non-defining or not. Give me the text here. Read the following sentence and circle the non-defining relative clauses and put a comma or a hyphen wherever necessary. Okay. Now let us see the meeting which was held. The meeting which was held in the town hall was great success. So which town hall? This is defining clause, right? This is telling. So the meeting was great success, but where? Which was held in the town hall. So this is defining relative clause. Next, the people who live in glass houses. Who live in glass houses from here till here. And this is also a defining clause, only defining relative clause. It is not giving any extra information. It is telling you the absolute fine one. The teachers who have taught Abhiram. This is also a defining relative clause. Then if you see Napoleon, who won the French honor, died at St. Helena. See, who have or who won French honor. Correct? Next, the silk sarees which are made in Benares are popular. Which are made in Benares. So now the question we have underlined, we have identified the relative clauses. Now let us see where to put comma or the hyphen. First one, we don't need to put anywhere. Correct? Then the second one, if you observe, they're also not needed. Third also not needed. Fourth one, Napoleon, comma, who won the French honor? Non-defining relative clause, no? So it is giving an extra information. Then here also no need to put any type of comma or things. Next, let us move forward with the next bit. Complete the sentences using defining or non-defining. You can use anything as per your convenience. Like you have to be, that should be a correct one. They should have some meaning there. This is a peaceful place, dash. So I can say this is a peaceful place that is liked by everyone. Or I can say this is a peaceful place where I sit every day. Right. Next, the Mahaprasthanam is a popular book which I bought in Hyderabad, which I bought from New Delhi. Wherever you want, you can mention. Next, Suresh Dash has left the school just now. Suresh, who is my cousin or who is my brother, has left the school just now. Is this the street dash? Is this the street where meat is sold? Is this the street where coal is sold? Like that you can write anything. Meat is not that M-E-E-T, it is M-E-A-T. The express dash has arrived. The express dash has just arrived. The express which runs has just arrived. The place dash has been closed to traffic. The place which is behind our house, which is back of our house, has been closed with traffic. This is a famous engineering college that is founded by so-and-so person. So instead of so-and-so person, you can write your own name. My sister dash has secured a job as an engineer in BHEL. My sister, who has completed her studies in any place, you can write like Bengaluru, Hyderabad, New Delhi, has secured a job as an engineer in BHEL. So engineer means we almost take IIT only, no? So you can use Bengaluru. We have read in that lesson also, right? The theatre dash was designed by Mr. Rao. The theatre which was built in 2014 was designed by Mr. Rao. Vishwanath is one of the outstanding directors in Telugu film. Vishwanath is one of the outstanding directors in the Telugu film industry, which or who produces a number of creative directors. So Telugu film industry means we'll write which produces the number of creative directors. That's it for the grammar session now. Let us move to the writing part. Here, this is a biographical sketch. As you already know that biographical sketch is an account of life or some activities of an individual. So if you're writing about yourself, it is autobiography. If you're writing about some other person, it is biography. So now this information includes a person's name, residence, the place where they live, education and occupation, life, activities, and other some important details. So it is written by some other person. So now what you have to do, if it is written by themselves, it is an autobiography, as I told you. So the autobiography is something where you write about yourself, as Nick Vujicic have written. So this is the Stephen Hawking. The person Stephen Hawking has seen in the face sheet also. Right. So this Stephen Hawking's details are given here. You need to create or you need to write a biographical sketch of a Stephen Hawking. So now let us see how to write it. So you have to include these points, whatever there on the screen, and you have to completely write in the form of a paragraph. So first paragraph, what you will write? Stephen Hawking, right? You can put the heading biographical sketch of Stephen Hawking. Then Stephen Hawking is one of the greatest scientists, as we have already read, right? So you can see the completely, whatever is this complete thing. So you can see that science research. So you can make it a rough idea that is a famous scientist. So you will start saying that Stephen Hawking or Stephen William Hawking is one of the greatest scientists in the world. He was born at, you will write this one. He was born at Oxford in England on 8th January 1942. And to whom he was born, so you will continue there only. Born on, right, as I told you, born on 8th January 1942 to TO2, Frank Hawking and Isobel Hawking. He was the eldest of all the 4 sons, same thing which is given here. Then you will write his father, Frank Hawking, was a medical, you will add here, was a medical researcher with a specialty in tropical diseases. This is the first paragraph we have completed with. Then we are going with the second paragraph now. What you will write in the second paragraph? You have to include the academic life. So you will write like, Hawking was recognized as a bright student, but he was not initially successful. How did you write this early academic years? Anybody will not get successful faster. No, it will take time. Correct. So, but he was not successful as a academic student during his school years. What happened? During his school years, Stephen stood third from the bottom. Now you understood, no? He is bright only, but at the starting age, he was third from the bottom. That means he did not read properly. Like he is not initially a successful academic person. So you write, during his school years, Stephen stood third from the bottom of his class. Next, you will include a few points like Hawking used to remain with a close group of friends, correct? With whom he enjoyed the board games. He enjoyed the board games. He constructed a computer out of recycled parts at the age of 16. All these things you can include. You can also write Hawking solved rudimentary mathematical equations, and this will be the second paragraph completely. Then you'll write the personal, again, marriage life. You'll write in the next paragraph. He married Jane Wilde. And when he was married also, you can write if you know the particular thing like 14th July 1965. If you don't know, it's not necessary at all to write. It's okay if you're not writing it also. Then the first years after his marriage, it was a little bit of hectic thing. But still, after that, he managed to achieve many things, right? He achieved the field of science also. Like, what did he achieve? In the field of science, in spite of being prolonged illness, he was suffering from the illness. What is that? Amyotrophic lateral health issue. That means he's having some black holes. So you can also write it is an incurable disease that time. So since he was 17 years, he is suffering from that particular thing. So then you can also include the awards and rewards, whatever they have given. Then you can also write at the last saying that this Pius 11 gold medal for the science from Pope Paul VI in 1975 was his remarkable history, and these are the things which he contributed for the advancement of science and technology or the research. This is nothing but the thing which we have discussed with. Fine. Okay, and reading B we will discuss in the next session. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Do concentrate on all the points. Each and every point is necessary for us. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.